If you were guaranteed unlimited power, but only if you have your ass out, would you do it? No? What if you needed the power to save your family, your city, your town, your children? As ridiculous as it may seem, this is often the dilemma that many an anime character face, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the Kill la Kill series. Kill la Kill follows Ryoko Matoi, a rebellious teenager searching for her father's killer in a world where clothing grants supernatural powers. She and her rival Satsuki Kirin inherit sentient, ultra-revealing school uniforms that make them far more powerful than everyone else. But there's one caveat. These particular uniforms are quite erotic. Okay, as the story progresses, Senketsu, Ryoko's uniform, informs her that her access to his power directly depends on her pride in the uniform. In other words, less shame, more power. It's a really strong metaphor. As opposed to Slan, who exposes her intimate areas to tempt and distract, Ryoko does so as an act of pride in vulnerability and towards a righteous end. It's a spin on the idea that with great power comes great responsibility. For the Muse, with great beauty comes great responsibility. The main villain is also a Slan-like perverted woman who intends to monopolize all clothing itself, and therefore beauty, expression, and sexuality, one of the Muse's main avenues. Ryoko and Satsuki fight on the side of liberation. It grants a whole new meaning to free the nip. It's not about reckless exposure, although it can be, but for the hero, relinquishment of shame and personal liberation. In all these examples, heroes and villains alike reveal a deeper truth. True power is refined, radiant, and whole. It isn't rooted in domination, but in the integration of the feminine with masculine force. Kill la Kill doesn't just flirt with this idea. It demonstrates how shame itself becomes the barrier to power. Like if there were a dam blocking Goku's Kamehameha. And we see this elsewhere too. Throughout anime and manga, shame often distorts, suppresses, or limits the hero's potential. And this can make for some awkward expressions. Look at Kakashi, another character from Naruto. He's a mentor to Naruto, Sakura, and even more so Sasuke. Now, no one really knows Kakashi. He's a quiet, solitary guy. And sometimes you'll see him, reading these like erotic romance novels. And it seems as if he prefers this lifestyle. Now, Kakashi is the archetype of the detached genius. He's beloved, respected, but emotionally unavailable. The erotic lives in him, but never moves through him. So even though Kakashi wouldn't have any issue finding meaningful intimacy, given who he is, he's Kakashi, he opts for a kind of voyeurism and observes intimacy as a fantasy. The result is that you sometimes see him leaned up against a wall, face covered, his single eye like scanning mischievously across an odd-looking booklet. He looks weird, bro. It's not a good look. But we've all seen something like this. That might have been you at some points, or maybe right now. Hidden away, watching something weird. Lord knows I have, but that's okay. The goal is to learn from our mistakes and the mistakes of others. Mind you, Kakashi still becomes Hokage eventually, the leader of his whole people. But what kind of man might he have become if he ever mastered that eros inside of him earlier? let's look at Jiraiya. Kakashi isn't the only teacher with voyeuristic tendencies. Jiraiya is Naruto's main mentor and adopted father figure. They share a charming lightheartedness and unspoken perversion. Jiraiya is notorious for peeping on women in bathhouses. And you may already be familiar with Naruto's salacious, sexy jutsu, a result of Jiraiya's influence. Now, Naruto eventually figures himself out and properly integrates sexuality. Hinata is his lover and muse. However, like Kakashi, Jiraiya carries this erotic energy and never fully integrates it, and it often erupts as immature perversion. But there's a deeper connection. He's the one writing the novels that Kakashi reads. They're the two sides of the same perverted coin, bonded by desire, yet both unable to embody it fully. The difference is, Jiraiya doesn't become Hokage, and he dies protecting the village. In this way, he represents the tragedy in the same archetype, the flawed mentor. The only redemption is Naruto himself, who is Jiraiya's spiritual successor and redemption. He claims his inner demon and expresses it effectively through love and duty to his people. He even writes his own novel later on. But the greatest example of awkward expression is found in the most notorious ecchi anime I've ever seen. And, it's the undisputed king of, I watch it for the plot, bro. High School DxD. Hey, hold that goon, because you're gonna have to stay tuned for the next video if you want to resume. Like and subscribe in the meantime.